Welcome to the 1 Minute Apologist. We interview the world's leading apologists to provide credible answers to curious questions.
What in the world is a two-decision Christian?
Well, I think most of us understand what a one-decision Christian is. We make a decision to trust Christ for our salvation, and most of us who are Christians would say we've done that. The problem, I think, is, though, that we have a sense that is it really that? Is that it? And is that really helping us to have an impact on our culture? And I think most of us would say that we feel bad that we do not share our faith as much as we ought to. In other words, we feel like we're not as good of an evangelist as we should be. Yeah. But Paul tells us in Ephesians 4 that some of you are pastors, some of you are teachers, some of you are evangelists, which means some of you aren't any of those things. Some of you aren't even good at those. They're not part of the wiring that I've given you, that God has given us. But we have a duty to do those things, even though we're not great at them. And so why are we beating ourselves up over something that we may not be great at? But Peter in 1 Peter 3 has got a little different approach. He doesn't say some of you need to be ready to give a reason for the hope you have. Yeah. He says all of you need to be ready. That's not an option for us. So we can say, well, I'm even not a great apologist, but I mean a great evangelist, but I really don't need to work at that because, you know, Billy Graham, he's called to that kind of thing. Well, guess what? We're not off the hook when it comes to being a case maker. We're all called to be case makers. He doesn't say some of you are. All of us are. And that's the second decision we have to make. And I think if you don't make that decision, a decision to trust Christ and then to make a case for what you believe about Christ, I think you're living an abbreviated Christian life. And that life is, you're saved, I get all that, but are you really able to make the kind of cultural impact? Are you able to help your students, your young kids, when they go to college, to be able to resist the offerings of the world, which are often going to be opposed to the Christian worldview? Are you really able to have any kind of impact you might have had if you'd have made the second decision to do what Peter ends up telling us we all are supposed to do anyway? We really have to get to a place where we are two-decision Christians. I think if we can make that decision, that second decision, we will change the world with the truth we already hold to begin with.